The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. This is the review. Let's get right into it. Hi everybody, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Julian. For those of you who do know me, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing my most recent read. It's a thriller novel called The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Now I'm going to break this review down into 4 parts. First, I'll give you an overview of the book along with my reactions. Second, we'll talk characters. Third, themes. And fourth, my takeaways. So now if you haven't read this book, I would stop watching at this point. Once you finish reading the book, return to this point of the video. First, the overview. Right off the bat, this book reminded me a whole lot of Verity by Colleen Hoover. If you liked Verity and want more of the same tropes, then this book is definitely for you. So I found myself hooked from the very beginning of this book because McFadden's writing style is really concise and straightforward. It's to the point, which I personally am a really big fan of. The story is told in first-person narration from the perspective of Millie. Millie's a young woman who is just released from prison. She's living in her car and life just isn't really working out in her favor until she gets the opportunity to be a housemaid or full-time nanny for the Winchester family. I found myself comfortable with the setting, considering it takes place in an upper-class neighborhood, not too far away from the city, very tranquil, serene environment, so it was easy for me to just put myself in that situation, I guess. So when Millie secured her job working for the Winchesters, the red flags started popping up left and right for me. First off, the room that Millie's sleeping in is in the attic, locks from the outside, and the only window in it is painted shut. I'm sorry, what? Millie, run. But McFadden does a great job of breaking down Millie's motive, which is to take advantage of this rare opportunity given her criminal record and how hard it is for her to find a job. So considering how bad she needs the money, she's gonna put up with some of the things like a room in the attic that locks from the outside and has a window painted shut. I guess it's better than sleeping in her car. At first, Millie working for the Winchesters is pretty normal until all of a sudden Nina Winchester starts to unravel. There was a peanut butter incident where Nina blames Millie for giving her daughter peanut butter when she's allergic. There's a scene where Nina trashes the kitchen and then forces Millie to clean it up, which takes her all day. And then I think multiple times where Millie noticed that her bedroom door was locked in the middle of the night. Obviously, if this were happening to any of us, I'd like to think that we would be out of there when this stuff started to happen. But if Millie ran away as fast as I would, then it'd be no fun for us readers. About 40 to 50% of the book, I started to get a little bit impatient, but that's when the pacing picked up. We started to get more of Enzo, the neighborhood landscaper who seems to know the one bit of important information Millie needs, but of course, there's a language barrier. He only speaks Italian, Millie only speaks English, so she doesn't understand or pick up on his warning. Between Enzo's moments, getting bits of the Winchester's backstory through neighborhood gossip, and other absurd Nina moments, we find that Millie and Andrew Winchester begin to develop this romantic connection. Or is it sexual tension? Or both? Regardless, it's entertaining. This is where I start to find myself more engaged in the story, and surprisingly siding with Andrew. It's safe to say McFadden did an amazing job of building a foundation for us to sympathize with Andrew because he has to go through Nina's episodes and inability to get pregnant. Now I live for these kind of character build-ups because it makes for a heavy plot twist at the end, which is exactly what we got. So there's a switch up in every which way when we start to read the book from Nina's perspective. This was an amazing switch up because there was even a switch in the writing style, being Nina's step-by-step backstory of how her and Andrew's relationship was built up and also destroyed. I was sickened by the torture and abuse that Andrew put Nina and Millie through. And I will say, as bad as it sounds, it all made for a satisfying ending when Millie and Nina end up on top, even with the help of Enzo. For the sake of keeping things PG on this channel, I won't get into talking about the types of things that Andrew did in that attic, but it was definitely sick and twisted. Now, I want to give Nina props for not only thinking to hire Millie to take out Andrew, but for also going back to save Millie. Now, I almost forgot, and I need to bring this up. It was insane how we caught a glimpse at the end of Andrew's mother and how his sick and twisted perception of the world and his relationships might be a result of how she raised him. Really makes you think about the types of people that are in this world and possibly among us. Sorry, okay, I'm done. Let's talk characters. So these are the characters who stuck out to me and what I think they represented. Millie is this gritty, conflicted, and strong protagonist who's just trying to find her place in the world after getting wrapped up in some unfortunate events. Nina Winchester is this once antagonist turned anti-hero turned hero who we believe to be mentally unstable at first, but turns out it was all a part of her plan. And she's actually a caring mother who just wants the best for her daughter. Andrew Winchester, Andy, is our once heartthrob turned psycho who was consumed by his own childhood trauma, intrusive thoughts, and psychotic tendencies. Enzo was the good-looking, strong Italian dude who served as our secondary hero. Then there's Andrew's mom, Evelyn, who is low-key devious and who I believe is the root of the evil encountered in this book. I mean, would Andrew be the way he is without his mother or whatever happened during his childhood? Do we get a prequel? Do we want a prequel? Dude, an Andrew Winchester origin story? Ooh. Now on to themes. The two main themes that stood out to me were abuse, whether it was psychological, emotional, or physical, and one's response to it. And the second theme I picked up on was the art of deception and how it can be used to manipulate the people that are closest to you. And now my takeaways. In all, it was a great read. I definitely recommend it to anybody who's looking for a fast-paced thriller that just takes you on a ride. These are my key takeaways. Always be aware of red flags. If you're in a situation, room, or with somebody that gives you an unsettling feeling and you have an opportunity to leave, trust your gut and don't be afraid to leave. I know it's easier said than done, but your safety is priority, regardless of how much money is involved or how close you are with the person. Another key takeaway is to never judge somebody based on their appearance. The Winchesters appeared to have it all put together with the big house, they were wealthy, the beautiful family, looked like they had it all put together. Until Millie entered the house. So learn as much as you can about somebody before you put yourself in a situation where you're alone with them. If you got this far in the video, I ask that you give it a like or subscribe if you want more book content from me. Also, if you're looking for a current read, I'm the author of 2 books that I highly recommend reading. The first is Night After Night, an epic party novel about a nightclub promoter who gets exposed to the Hollywood party scene. And the second is Right My Wrongs, a rock star romance about 2 songwriters who fall in love through the music that they write together. So that's my review. Make sure to leave a comment if you have a book recommendation or if you want to share your thoughts on The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Thanks for watching.